Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Pat Cavlin here. Just with a quick update, if you live in Harris County, I'm looking out the window right now, the sun is out. Different story, though, down towards Galveston, you can see it has just been a drencher of a day. Tons of rain coming down. And that's what we just wanted to jump on here fast to talk about, because there's been a lot of rain in a pretty short period of time. And also in a very localized area, so flooding, a little bit of a concern, somewhat for Galveston, but more so as you get into Chambers County out towards the Mont Belvieu area. So this is the line of storms that we're tracking. It's a small area of low pressure, and you can actually see that swirl there up to the north that's dragging in all of this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So you can see it all kind of in that very narrow band lifting to the north, and that's why it's a flooding concern, because it's not going from west to east, it's going from south to north over a lot of the same areas. We get you in for a closer look. I've actually highlighted the band that we're talking about there in the white lines, and you can see in the last 2 hours it really has not moved that much. We're now starting to see it drift a little bit to the east, which is a good sign because that could lower that flooding threat. But up towards the Baytown area into Mont Belvieu, this is where we have that flash flood warning in effect right now, where it's just been raining persistently for the last few hours. Couple lightning strikes, couple claps of thunder, but nothing severe at this point. Down towards Galveston, boy, this has been relentless. Again, just a fire hose of heavy rain coming in off the coast. Again, just starting to show some signs of drifting to the east, but we'll have to see what these southern bands here do as they come on shore, if they continue that eastward track or if they move over the same areas. Rain totals, though, pretty impressive here. Again, within that band, we've seen numbers upwards of 2 to 4 inches in just the last few hours alone. In for a closer look, it's really amazing how sharp that cutoff is. Out towards the Strand, only about a ½ an inch of rain. But once you go along Broadway here, notice 2.5 inches just before you get onto 45. And then as you go farther down towards the south and west, as you get out of the city, out towards the airport, and even beyond that, we're back down to less than a ½ an inch of rain. So it's a very narrow band here where we've seen some of the worst of that rain. But again, flooding a possibility, some street ponding, certainly not out of the question. We have seen some flooding reports coming from northern Chambers County. That's where they issued that flash flood warning, which I believe they just expired at 2 o'clock. We'll have to see if they reissue it, but this is the reason why. 3.5 inches in that bullseye right around Mont Belvieu. But again, sharp cutoff there, just about a 10-mile difference can mean the difference between a ½ of an inch of rain and 3.5 inches of rain. But here along Texas 99, along Texas 146, and in a very short portion of the East Freeway, we've seen, again, some pretty significant rainfall totals. So from Baytown up towards Mont Belvieu, flooding has been the concern. As we go through the next few hours, that band that's coming in off the Gulf is going to lift up towards the north and east. So Galveston, you should start to dry out as we get into the evening hours. Let's say 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when things should start to wrap up. We could get another slug of rain, though, coming through the city. That's going to come in from the west, and that could lead to maybe some localized areas of heavy rainfall, of maybe some street ponding, a couple high water spots. I mean, if you go down to White Oak Bayou, if you live in the Heights, that bayou is pretty high right now. So the bayous are doing their jobs. They are not in, we're not seeing any potential of them maybe going over their banks, but they are very swollen right now. So the faster we can wrap this rain up, the better shape we're going to be in. And we do see that happening here as we get into the evening hours. I would say by dinner time, just a couple showers left over, maybe down towards Brazoria, Wharton, Fort Bend counties, and then another batch of rain there exiting off towards the north and east, then eventually into the overnight. I think we all start to trend a lot drier. So the rain chances will diminish here as we go through the rest of the day and into the overnight hours. We go from a 70% chance at 4 p.m. down to isolated chances here through the overnight. We could see some chances tick up again for tomorrow morning, but overall I think Monday is going to be a much, much drier day. We're going to be here all day just monitoring the latest on this. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on all of the flood gauges across the city. Of course, if anything happens, if anything develops, if we have any heavier cells developing over an area, we'll jump on, we'll give you the update, and we'll keep you in the know. Otherwise, we'll see you tonight at 5:30.